Thanks for watching. I'm hoping to give you some information on my experience on Ocrevus, about the day of the infusion, and then the after effects for me. So hopefully this can be helpful to one person. But anyway, this will just be my experience with it. So first of all, I was booked in for 7:15, so I had to arrive at the hospital. I arrived at the infusion centre at 7 o'clock, and I got booked in with the receptionist and then she, checked my Medicare number and all that kind of jazz. Then I was taken through to the nurses. They got me cannulated, did my observations, so checking blood pressure, oxygen saturation, temperature, and so that was all fine. And then they gave me the oral medication before you start. So they gave me paracetamol and an antihistamine. I'm not sure which antihistamine they gave me, and then they put the steroids into the cannula, and that is just to prevent you from having any allergic reactions to the Ocrevus. Obviously some people do still react to it, but it's just to reduce your chances of reacting. So I don't actually have any reactions on the day to it, so which is good. So you have to wait 30 to 60 minutes before they can actually start the Ocrevus. They have to obviously let that medication kick in before they can start the Ocrevus. So by 8 o'clock they started the Ocrevus for me. Everything was fine. It was all smooth, so no reactions. I don't actually have when I've had steroids in the past, when I've had a relapse, you get that terrible taste in your mouth, like that metallic taste, but it's only a low dose of steroids on the day of Ocrevus, so I don't actually get that taste, which is nice. I was finished by 11 o'clock, just the Ocrevus anyway, and then they did the flush for 1 hour. So it's just an hour that they keep you there to monitor you for that hour, make sure that you're not going to have any reactions after they've finished the Ocrevus. And then so I left at 12 o'clock and was out of there, and then I could go home. So they actually did my observations again before I left too. I forgot to say that before, but then I left. But everything was fine. My blood pressure, I did have a look at my blood pressure on the machine, and it was 70/50, which is pretty low, I would say. But my blood pressure does tend to be on the lower side, so I guess it was normal, because she did ask me if I felt dizzy or anything, and I always do feel a bit lightheaded after sitting down for so long, but then as soon as I'm up, I feel fine again. So I got home and had some lunch, then just rested. I watched some TV shows, mingled with the family, and had dinner with the family, and then I probably went to bed at 9:30 that night, which is a little bit earlier than I normally would. For some reason, it does really just take it out of you having the medication. Well, it does for me, I guess, but it wasn't too bad. I did have to take some Panadol because I did have a headache that evening, and then for the next few days after, I did have a headache. But the next day I didn't actually wake up with a headache, but as the day went on, I got a headache in the next few days after that as well. For the next 2 days I did feel a bit more tired than I usually would. I had to have a nap for about 20 minutes in the afternoon, which I normally, I wouldn't nap in the day at all, so it was a bit unusual for me. But to put it all in perspective, I have 3 children at home. 2 of them are being homeschooled due to the current global Well, in Sydney, we're in lockdown right now, so the kids are being homeschooled. Yeah, so 2 of them are being homeschooled, and then I have a 2-year-old who needs constant attention. So once we got all the kids' work done, my daughter went down for a sleep. Then I did get a bit tired, and I needed just to lay down and have a little nap on the lounge while they were playing. So yeah, I wouldn't usually do that, but for 2 days after, I did feel like I needed to nap, but then after that I was fine. And also on those the days after the infusion, I still took the kids for a walk around the block. It's only short, like 1.6 kilometers, so it's not far, but pushing my daughter in the pram, everything was pretty normal after that. And then I got back into exercising the following week, which is now. So it's been a week since my infusion, and every day I've been able to exercise and take the kids for a walk, because that's the only time that we're actually allowed out of the house. So we try and get out at least once a day. And then I don't think that I have any reactions to Ocrevus. In saying that, I do have things, but obviously I can't pinpoint whether it is Ocrevus or not. So after my very first infusion back in 2019, I did get dermatitis on my face, like here and around my nose and a little bit on my chin. That took about 7 months of trying to figure out what to do with it to go away. So initially I tried steroids, that didn't work, and then I just tried lots of natural things. Actually, it was my daughter's zinc, like nappy cream, that ended up stopping it. So that was good. But as well, I've had joint aches or joint pain. There was a time, it was probably 3 months, where my wrist, I could barely move it, but I do like to crochet sometimes, and I had been working on a project, and also I painted our fence. So whether the movement just had, made it so, I don't know whether it was Ocrevus or just the movement itself. So I wanted to answer some common questions that I see online, so whether they have affected me or not. So common questions: weight gain. Have I had any weight gain on Ocrevus? No, I personally have not had that issue. Hair loss. Hair loss, again, for me, I haven't found this to be an issue at all. So I have had a baby in between 2 of the doses, and even after that I didn't find a massive amount of hair, like unusual hair loss. It was just normal the whole time, so I've been lucky in that sense too. About crap gap, do people feel crap 1 month before they're due for their infusion? I did not have this issue. I kind of felt like I might even feel better that month before I'm due, and then makes me question, do I want to continue, because I feel better just before I get it. So whereas after I've had it, I do tend to I wake up feeling like as if I'm a bit hungover when I haven't been drinking. But I'm going to test it out and see over the next 6 months how I'm feeling, and decide from there whether I continue on, because my MRIs have showed that I'm, I don't have any active lesions, I'm not relapsing, so that's a positive, but it's not the only thing that, you can go off. How long does it take to get your infusion? So obviously I went through the day for me, so it was 7 o'clock until 12 o'clock when I left, but that's purely because I had no reactions. I never had to slow it down to to stop me from reacting or give me any more antihistamines or steroids or anything. Do symptoms improve? I haven't found any improvement in symptoms. When I started Ocrevus in 2019, like November 2019, I didn't, I definitely didn't feel any better than I did prior to that. But I've had slow, tiny improvements, but it was basically the same as the improvement after the initial relapse anyway. What do you need to bring to the actual infusion? I would definitely bring water, food, and some kind of entertainment. So whether that be an iPad, a phone, or a book. And also make sure you're wearing comfy clothes, and don't be shy and ask for a blanket if you're cold. There's no point in sitting there for 4 to 6 hours being freezing, so just make sure that you're comfortable. You could drive home after the infusion. I personally don't drive home after the infusion. The parking, you have to pay for parking there, and it's just easier to get dropped off and picked up because it is only 30 minutes. So if I live further away, then maybe, but then also I do feel a little bit more tired than I usually would. So having to drive a long way wouldn't be great either. So it all just also depends on yourself. But if you can organise a lift the first time at least, then and see how you react, and then go from there. Can I go back to work the next day? Personally, I don't have a job. I have my 3 children who are at home that I look after. So that's quite a full-time job. But in saying that, I don't have to go physically to a job. So for myself, I definitely just get straight back into it. But yeah, I would say the very first time that you have Ocrevus, maybe you have it on a Friday, and then you have the weekend to see how you're feeling after it. And then next time that you're booked in, you could then you would know whether you could go back to work the next day, or if you're booked in on another day of the week, then you could just book it for whatever day, but make sure you have the next day off, and then next time you'll know whether you could go back to work or not. So that's it. I don't think there's anything else. So if there's any questions, put them in the comments and I will try and get back to you. If there's any videos that you would like me to make about Ocrevus, or I have been on Rebif, Tysabri, and Gelenia. I can answer any questions on those, but again, this is just my personal experience. It's not medical advice, so it's more just to help give you an idea of what the day might look like and maybe what the future will look like. But I wish you all the best, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you.